The 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup was the 10th Cricket World Cup. It was played in India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Pakistan was also scheduled to be a co-host, but after the 2009 attack on the Sri Lanka national cricket team in Lahore, the International Cricket Council cancelled that, and the headquarters of the organising committee, originally in Lahore, was transferred to Mumbai. Pakistan was to have held 14 matches, including one semi-final. 8 of the games were awarded to India, 4 to Sri Lanka, and 2 to Bangladesh. All the matches were one-day internationals, and all were played over 50 overs. 14 national cricket teams took part, including 10 full members and 4 associate members of the ICC. The opening ceremony was held on February 17, 2011 at Bangabandhu National Stadium, Dhaka, and the tournament was played between February 19 and April 2. The first match was played between India and Bangladesh at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium in Mirpur, Dhaka. The final was between India and Sri Lanka at Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. India won the tournament, defeating Sri Lanka by 6 wickets in the final in Mumbai, thus becoming the first country to win the Cricket World Cup final on home soil. India's Yuvraj Singh was declared the man of the tournament. This was the first time in World Cup history that 2 Asian teams had appeared in the final. It was also the first time since the 1992 World Cup that the final match did not feature Australia. Host selection, bids. The ICC announced on April 30, 2006 which countries would host the 2011 World Cup. Australia and New Zealand had also bid for the tournament. If successful, they would have shared the hosting equally, leaving the location of the final still to be decided. The Trans-Euro-Tasman bid, Beyond Boundaries, was the only one delivered to the ICC headquarters in Dubai before the 1 March deadline, but the Asian bidders were granted an extension by the ICC. The New Zealand government had given assurance that Zimbabwe would be allowed to compete in the tournament, following political discussions in the country over whether their cricket team should be allowed to tour Zimbabwe in 2005. The extra time needed for the Asian bid had weakened its prospects, but when the time came to vote, Asia won the hosting rights by 10 votes to 3. The Pakistan Cricket Board has revealed that the vote of the West Indies Cricket Board was decisive, as the Asian bid had the support of South Africa and Zimbabwe as well as the 4 bidding countries. The Pakistani newspaper Dawn reported that the Asian countries had promised to hold fundraising events for West Indian cricket during the 2007 World Cup, which may have influenced the vote. However, I.S. Bindra, chairman of the monitoring committee of the Asian bid, said that their promise of extra profits of around $400 a million had been decisive, that there was no quid pro quo for their support, and that playing the West Indies had nothing to do with the World Cup bid. The ICC prefers to rotate World Cup venues between major cricket-playing nations. They have been hosted by England, India and Pakistan, Australia and New Zealand, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, England and the Netherlands, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Kenya, and the West Indies. Australia and New Zealand were awarded the 2015 World Cup format. Late in 2007, the 4 host nations agreed on a revised format for the 2011 World Cup, identical to that of the 1996 World Cup, except that there would be 14 teams instead of 12. The first round of the tournament would consist of 2 groups of 7 teams. Each team in a group would play all the others once, and the top 4 from each group would qualify for the quarter-finals. This ensured that every team would play at least 6 matches. Qualification. As per ICC regulations, all 10 full members automatically qualify for the World Cup, including Zimbabwe who have given up their test-playing status until the standard of their team improves. The ICC also organised a qualifying tournament in South Africa to determine which associate teams would participate in 2011 event. Ireland, who had been the best-performing associate nation since the last World Cup, won the tournament, beating Canada in the final. The Netherlands and Kenya also qualified by virtue of finishing 3rd and 4th respectively. List of qualified teams. The following 14 teams qualified for the final tournament. Preparations. Pakistan loses co-host status. In April 2009, the ICC announced that Pakistan had lost its right to co-host the 2011 World Cup because of concerns about the uncertain security situation in the country, especially in the aftermath of the 2009 attack on the Sri Lanka national cricket team in Lahore. The PCB estimated that this would lose them $10.5 million. This figure took account only of the fees of $750,000 per match guaranteed by the ICC. The overall loss to the PCB and the Pakistani economy were expected to be much greater. On April 9, 2009, PCB chairman Ijaz Butt revealed that they had issued a legal notice to oppose ICC's decision. The ICC, however, claimed that the PCB was still a co-host, and that they had only relocated the matches out of Pakistan. Pakistan proposed that South Asia host the 2015 World Cup and that Australia and New Zealand host the 2011 event, but this option did not find favour with their co-hosts and was not implemented. Allocation of matches. On April 11, 2005, PCB chairman Shah-e Khan announced an agreement on the allocation of games, under which India would host the final, Pakistan and Sri Lanka the semi-finals, and Bangladesh the opening ceremony. After being stripped of his status as a co-host, Pakistan proposed to host its allocated games in the United Arab Emirates as a neutral venue. They had played matches in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Sharjah in the preceding months. On April 28, 2009, however, the ICC announced that matches originally intended to be played in Pakistan would be reallocated. As a result, India hosted 29 matches across 8 venues, including the final and 1 semi-final. Sri Lanka hosted 12 matches at 3 venues, including 1 semi-final. And Bangladesh hosted 8 matches at 2 grounds, as well as the opening ceremony on February 17, 2011. On June 1, 2010, the first tranche of tickets were put on sale after a meeting of the tournament's Central Organising Committee in Mumbai. The cheapest tickets cost 20 US cents in Sri Lanka. In January 2011, the ICC declared the Eden Gardens ground in Kolkata, India, to be unfit and unlikely to be complete by February 27, when it was scheduled to host a match between India and England. The match was moved to Bangalore. Media and promotion. The World Cup has grown as a media event with each tournament. The ICC sold the broadcasting rights for the 2011 event to ESPN Star Sports and Star Cricket for around $2 billion. At least 2 billion people from more than 180 countries around the world were expected to watch. For the first time, the ICC Cricket World Cup was broadcast in high-definition format, and it was to be covered by at least 27 cameras using recent technology. It was also planned to be shown across platforms such as online and mobile 3G. It was the first time that an ICC event had the umpire decision review system. The official event ambassador was Sachin Tendulkar. Song. The official song of the 2011 Cricket World Cup has 3 versions, in Bengali, Hindi, and Sinhala, corresponding to the 3 host countries. Dayumake is the Hindi version, composed by the trio of Shankara Isani Loy. It employs an array of Indian rhythms combined with elements of rock and hip-hop. The Sinhala version, Sina Udayan, was adapted by Sri Lankan R&B and hip-hop artist Ranadu Lankage and composed by lyricist Chian Galahitiawa. Both songs were performed at the opening ceremony. Sina Udayan was performed by Lankage. Mascot, Stumpy, a young elephant, was the official mascot for the 2011 Cricket World Cup. He was unveiled at a function in Colombo, Sri Lanka, on April 2, 2010, and his name was revealed on August 2, 2010 after an online competition conducted by the ICC in the last week of July. Opening ceremony. The opening ceremony was held in the Bangabandhu National Stadium in Dhaka, Bangladesh, on February 17, 2011, 2 days before the first match. Prize money. The 2011 Cricket World Cup winning team would be taking home a prize money of $3 million and $1.5 million for runner-up, with the International Cricket Council deciding to double the total allocation for the coveted tournament to $10 million. The winning team will also take home a replica of the ICC Cricket World Cup trophy, that has been awarded since 1999. The decision was taken at the ICC board meeting which was held in Dubai on April 20, 2010. The total prize money on offer for the tournament for the teams placing from 1st to 8th is $7.48 million. The prize money was distributed as follows: $370 €1,000 to each team exiting after the quarter-finals, $750 €1,000 fourth-place team, $750 €1,000 third-place team, $1.5 a million a runner-up, $3 a million a winner. Venues: all the Indian stadiums for the tournament had been finalised by mid-October 2009, and those of Bangladesh and Sri Lanka in late October 2009. The ICC announced all the venues in Mumbai on November 2, 2009. Two new stadiums were constructed in Kandy and Hambantota, Sri Lanka, for the event. Umpires. The umpire selection panel selected 18 umpires excluding a reserve umpire, Inamul Haq, to officiate at the World Cup, 5 from Australia, 6 from Asia, 3 from England, 2 from New Zealand and 1 each from South Africa and West Indies. Squads. Each country chose a 30-member preliminary squad, which would then be reduced to 15. All the 14 teams announced their final squads before January 19, 2011. Matches. Warm-up matches. The following 14 warm-up matches were played before the World Cup started. For statistical purposes, these matches are not considered to be one-day internationals. Group stage: the top 4 teams from the 2 groups qualified for the quarter-finals. Group A. The top 4 teams from each group qualified for the quarter-finals. Group B. The top 4 teams from each group qualified for the quarter-finals. Knockout stage. Quarter-finals. Semi-finals. Final. Statistics. Controversies: Bangladeshi fans threw rocks at the West Indies team bus as it returned players to their hotel after their win over Bangladesh in Dhaka on March 4. It was later claimed that the rock throwers had confused the bus with the Bangladesh team bus. The Elite Rapid Action Battalion of Bangladesh arrested 38 people after the attack, and the West Indians later received an apology. The political party Shiv Sena threatened to disrupt the final in Mumbai if the Pakistani team qualified. The umpire decision review system came under scrutiny when Indian captain MS Dhoni complained after a little-known 2.5-metre rule was applied in the appeal against dismissal of Ian Bell for leg before wicket during the India-England group stage match, which eventually ended in a tie. The rules were subsequently revised and the umpires were given new guidelines. The Sri Lankan captain, Kumar Sangakkara, later criticised the decision to alter the 2.5-metre rule while a tournament was in progress. In the final between India and Sri Lanka, loud crowd noise prevented match referee Jeff Crow from hearing Sri Lankan captain Sangakkara's call as the coin was tossed by Indian captain Dhoni. The toss had to be redone, an extremely unusual event, especially at as prominent an event as the World Cup final. See also: List of Cricket World Cup records, politics and sports, references and notes. External links.